In this video, I'm going to share a six-figure strategy which has personally helped myself and other TikTok creators generate six figures every single month on TikTok Shop. This is going to analyze the mindsets, strategies, and psychology of a top TikTok Shop creator. By the end of this video, your view on content creation is going to change dramatically, and you will be able to apply this knowledge whether you are a TikTok Shop affiliate or you are looking to launch your own brand on TikTok Shop. Let's dive into my computer where I will show the strategies step by step. Folks, this is going to be the exact blueprint that you use to market yourself as a TikTok Shop affiliate to crack those six-figure GMV months. And this is also going to perfectly apply to yourself if you are a brand owner or you plan on becoming a brand owner in future. That's the transition that I've made from being a TikTok affiliate. Just a bit about myself. Here's my 180-day GMV. These are gross sales that I've made for myself as a store owner, and just a few screenshots of my most viral videos, just so you know you're in safe hands while watching this video. So, I want to go through currently what you are probably experiencing as someone who is in the content trap. So, you can post for months, even nearly years, and still not build anything that lasts. Because on TikTok Shop, most affiliates are playing a completely different game than the one that actually creates wealth. This isn't like other social platforms or the old days of influencing where people are paid upfront massive amounts of money for their videos. So that means that we have to stay accountable to ourselves and build systems in place that make us money. So you may be chasing trends, you may be copying scripts, you may depend on luck, but in reality, the people winning on this platform are operating from systems, not from tips and tricks and short videos that you've seen on your FYP from so-called TikTok affiliate coaches. So if you're an affiliate right now, you've probably hit the same wall that most do, and the same wall that I did just a year ago. You're making content and maybe seeing some sales, but nothing feels stable, even on a good month where you make a couple of grand for yourself. Every week you're wondering, why did this do so well and that video didn't, even though I put my heart and soul into it? The truth is, the top 1% of affiliates aren't guessing. They've quietly built a repeatable research, psychology, and content system that lets them dominate entire product categories. That's why you see certain creators dominate the health niche or the beauty niche or the fashion niche. They don't just find good products, they have built their own personal brand around it practically just in one video. They don't sell, they create authority, trust, and recognition that compounds every time they post. And that's the difference between someone who's chasing trends, just trying to rage bait people with their video, and people who actually know how to sell. And I'm going to show you the same framework they use to scale your commissions or scale your earnings if you are a brand owner. So I call this the TikTok Shop operating system, and it's the same system that's helped me scale my content from 0 to 100k months without guessing trends or praying to the algorithm. So I'm going to run through right now what you're probably doing right at the moment and what you do well and what your strengths are as a creator. You have something that most people don't. You have the courage to be seen. You are putting your face on camera, and that is not easy to do. Okay, I understand your struggle. It took me a few minutes to warm myself up just to making this long video, okay? So this is a muscle that has to be trained, and it's never going to be easy, okay? It doesn't get easy, you just get better at this game practically, because it is a game. Other people don't have the confidence or the willingness to develop confidence through repetition, and that bravery is exactly what separates passive consumers from active creators and producers like you. And by the end of this video, I'm going to turn you into a successful producer. Many affiliates have also already learned to adapt quickly. You probably understand that trends, products, and formats can change over time. I'm going to show you some psychology that never will let you down. It will never die. It will never go out of fashion. And I'm going to show you how to apply this psychology to any product. You've probably learned how to fail in public and come back the next day like nothing happened. From low views, low sales, maybe your video attracted loads of views and got a lot of hate, but still didn't make any sales, and yet you're still showing up every day posting. Well done. And that is not something that's what the average person would give up on, to be honest, straight away. If they see hate comments, high views, low sales, most people would say, I quit. That's because you have the builder's DNA, okay? You understand that you are building something for yourself. And we are now in a decade, an age of time where attention is the new gold, right? That is the new currency. But you also have to know how to monetize it. So, I'm going to get you out of a linear thinking, closed mindset. And that's why, first of all, we're going to go into the mindset that it takes to be a successful creator on the TikTok Shop platform. So, I want to run through the radical accountability and algorithm myths that you have to change within your mindset in order to make a success of this. The core point of this is that blaming 200 view jail hands away your power. It doesn't give you power, it doesn't give you accountability. Winners just assume that everything is a skill gap that they can close. And when you are stuck in so-called 200 view jail, what that really means is only 200 people watched your content, and those 200 people decided that they didn't like it. So the TikTok algorithm did not choose to push your video to more people. We need to create a control ledger mindset. So what I mean by this is we have a certain list of variables that you can control. So hook variance, posting cadence, creative angles, the products that you use, product stack, the comment strategy that you may use in order to engage with people in the comments, which could arguably, possibly push your video out. If people see that you are engaging in your comments, it means that you are easy to reach. That means they will engage with your video more. And you also have to have the confidence that returns will come as long as you show up every day, because the truth is nothing ever good comes from not showing up, okay? So I want to talk a bit about speed and batching. So we've all heard that you need to batch your content, right? Batch post, film 10, 20, 30 videos back to back. The thing is, if you're starting out, then I want you to focus more on what you are creating instead of how much you are creating. Because if you're starting out or you've only been in TikTok Shop for a couple of months, you probably don't have enough knowledge about consumer psychology on this platform to actually pay attention to what goes viral and why certain videos sell. I want you to focus on quality over quantity at first, and then if you have any extra time, then feel free to batch create content. Okay? Post daily, run a micro experiment every single day on a certain hook, and just aim to get slightly better every single day. This could be in terms of making your videos longer, doing something that's more challenging, trying a new visual hook, something that pushes you out of your comfort zone. And this will mean that you are forced to focus on quality instead of quantity. You should have a focus on detachment. Okay, so the core point here is you should detach yourself from the outcome while being militant about inputs. So creativity opens up when you aren't desperate. If you go into this game desperate, guys, your creative power will shut off. And I want to talk a bit about, you see, there's this key thing that everyone likes to think about in TikTok Shop about which hook is the best hook to use and should they double down on a hook once it's working. I would say double down on a hook if you see it working for other creators if you're just starting out, but if you're an established creator, do not be afraid to test your own hooks, okay? So there's also going to be an identity shift that you will have to make when auditing your content and before you hit post and before you really get into the game. Think about problems you've solved, what you spend time doing, the category that you visibly fit. So for example, I'm an athletic male, so that's who I tailor my content to. What you can teach endlessly, assets you possess or props that you may use. It doesn't matter if you're talking about a gut supplement. If you have a toilet brush on hand, then that could be a hilarious way to engage your audience. If you have pets, tools, if you have an interesting location like a garage, if you have a nice view even, anywhere that you can showcase a product and tell people about your story. And think about who you are strategically. So are you the kind of person who wants to just grind out content non-stop? Or are you the kind of person who would like to make longer videos a few times a day? I like to post long videos multiple times a day instead of shorter videos like endlessly throughout the day, okay? So try and focus on who you want to be and think about what the future creator in you is saying. If you woke up this morning and you were a highly successful creator, what would you do? What would be the things that you believe? What would be the clothes that you wear? And think about who you are appealing to. So think about the last point I want to make on mindset before we jump into the other points is your authenticity as a conversion asset. The core point here is that over polished can often trigger certain viewers. So they have a BS detector. So use a natural tone. Minor flubs are fine. Maybe you stutter your words. That's fine. Keep your pacing of your video strong, but always put authenticity first, because at the end of the day, people love to buy products, but they don't like to be sold to. So the more authentic you are, the more real and raw you are, the better. There are loads of ways that I could have thought about making this video. I could have made it really nicely presented. I could have, gone all in on editing. But at the end of the day, all I have to share in this video is education, and I'm just going to teach that to you guys like I'm just talking to a friend, or I've got something to share on stage, okay? It doesn't matter if I stutter my words. It doesn't matter if I take my time to explain my point. And that's something that you can afford to do if you're starting out, or even if you're an established creator, because the moment you let go of being salesy, that's when your true self will essentially come through. So just to reiterate, you should think about problems you've solved and what time you like to, where you spend most of your time. So even if you're a gamer, okay, think about the products that a gamer likes to consume and how they like to improve their performance, okay? It could be maybe you found an ergonomic controller, or you like a certain type of energy drink, or maybe you have pain as a gamer from being sat at a chair. You can talk about pain products like neck massages. There are all these things that can fit your personality, and you can make content around without sacrificing your mindset or your authenticity. And as a gamer, you'll be able to speak to that audience because no one knows gaming better than you. I'm a gym guy, okay, so I like to talk about supplements and gym stuff. There's a lady who I work with, she's into holistic wellness, and she likes to talk about crystals, healing, and having an abundance mindset. So she talks about journals and sells crystals. Just anything that fits into your current lifestyle, no matter how simple it is, can really help your mindset. And it means also that you wake up every day with endless content ideas. So focus on what you can control. Focus on the kind of creator that you want to be, because to be honest, there is no such thing as a unsuccessful, or there's no such thing as being a bad creator. Like, if you only want to post a few times a day, that's still enough to make a significant amount of earnings for your brand. But you have to go all in the time you are committing throughout the day to TikTok Shop. And when you really find out who you're targeting your content with, then you'll be able to sell anything. Because even if you're selling a skin cream, okay, if you're in the fitness niche, you'll be able to sell a skin cream to people who struggle with aches and pains after a gym workout. Or maybe they have dry skin because they're a runner, okay? They always like to go surfing, or they're very active, and they always have dry skin because they're always outside. Those are the kinds of people that you can talk to. Quick apology for any background noise if you pick that up. There's someone drilling next door. So so that's mindset, and this is deeper than just saying, oh yeah, you need to be more disciplined. You need to, you need to just work harder. While you are working, work hard, but that doesn't mean you need to put in every hour of the day into TikTok Shop. As long as your content formats are repeatable and you're speaking to your perfect avatar, your target avatar, and you really relate to them, then making content is easy from a mindset perspective. I just want to touch here on research and product selection. So anyone who talks about product selection will have a key focus on, what is the best product. As an affiliate and as a brand owner, both of these things can vary, okay? As an affiliate, you're looking for something that's already hot selling, and as a brand owner, you're looking for something that's still quite unsaturated, to be honest. So when going into the market, I'm not looking for something to promote that has 24,000 items sold as a brand owner. Maybe I would look to do that as an affiliate, but not as a brand owner. The reverse is true for an affiliate, so you would probably look to find something that's quite high selling, right? So let's talk about going all in on a niche. And people will say, don't niche, don't niche, don't niche. To be honest, the more successful creators I see, the more I find that they do stay at least somewhat within a relevant niche. All the best health creators only stay in health. All the best beauty creators only stay in beauty. All the best sports creators only stay in sport. There are certainly people who just promote literally anything, but what they find is It's nothing to do with the algorithm usually, because the algorithm just cares about good content. So this isn't from an algorithm perspective. It's really finding out who you are as a creator. And I should also note that if you're trying to monetize a brand, then or a personal brand, and you want to get retainers, then sticking in a niche can work really well because it shows that you are loyal to that niche. Health supplement companies are more likely to get retainers with you if they can see that you are the person to talk to in the health niche. So I would recommend niching, to be honest, even if you. But niching can still mean that you just have two niches, okay? So maybe one is beauty, the other is health, but do not promote literally anything. Let's talk about storytelling, because storytelling should be repeatable. There should be audience conditioning. It should be an easy way to build authority, especially if you are telling a story that comes from the heart, something that you have seen, something you've experienced, something that you've seen other people talking about on TikTok and you can relate to. It's fine. You don't have to have loads of exciting things going on in your day every day. It could be something really small and insignificant, because often small, insignificant issues are something that other people are experiencing as well. So make sure that for your content you have evergreen potential. It has repeat purchase and is very consumable in terms of its value. So when I say it has repeat purchase value, this is more focused towards people who are thinking about launching their own shop as a seller. This is a great way to increase lifetime value of your customer. This is less so engaged towards affiliates, but I would definitely say this is a great point to touch on. If you're an affiliate, you are completely missing out on repeat purchase value, because when someone buys your products from your link, the brand has the customer forever. That person is far more likely to repurchase that product again in future, and you won't be credited for it. Especially if it's a consumable, that person is likely to buy that product again. If it's a skin cream or a food or a drink, a supplement, something, anything like that, it can certainly have repeat purchase value. So just want to talk about that, because that is something that affiliates don't realize they are missing out on. Let's also talk a little bit about review mining and content validation. So there are different content ideation ideas that you can use, or should I say methods? That's a better way of putting it. So you can use AI to just simply identify key pains and outcomes from winning videos that you've seen on TikTok. Feel free to use ChatGPT to extract the top performing videos in your niche or for that certain product. That will give you 20 to 40 pains and outcomes and different stories that you can use. We can also use TikTok itself, so just go into the TikTok app, search around what people are generally searching for. So if you're promoting, let's say, an anti-aging supplement, then literally just type in anti-aging into TikTok and see what kind of organic videos come up. You can look around on YouTube, you can use long form podcasts, you can use celebrity testimonials. There's loads of things that you can do. Now, this is less applicable to products that just have a very clear visual factor, like fashion. There's a limited amount of ideation that you can probably come up with. The best ideas I've seen are clear stories around how a fashion piece has maybe improved your dating life. You can show your boyfriend or husband's reaction to you wearing the fashion item. You can show your fashion item in public and just get reactions from girls who you go out on a party with or whatever. So there's loads of different ways that you can market one product. That said, maybe fashion is somewhat more limited in this sense, but that's still where you can use things like Amazon. So brand sites, TikTok shop reviews, go into the comments of viral videos, go into the reviews on TikTok shop, go into the reviews on Amazon and see what people are saying about the product specifically, because they may say something about the product or they may have an objection or a question that's really, really specific to the product. One of my most viral videos was about a protein bar, okay? It did like 5 million views. And the hook that I used for the story, which I used over and over again, was a story about how you shouldn't rely on your mum's cooking for your protein. That was a great hook, and it did like 5 million views, and that's because it was really relatable to my avatar. But guess what? I only found out that specific story from a review which I spotted in the TikTok shop app on that actual product. It said something like, haha, I'm so done with mum's cooking, I'll just get these. Something like that. and that sparked a video which made me 5k in commissions. That was the same idea that I used to apply to my own brand, because I can literally look at Amazon and competitor websites to generate this kind of revenue for myself, to be honest. So once you have this down, you can promote any product. So go ahead and use Amazon and brand websites to promote your products. Let's look at selection rules and guardrails. So there is a price and commission reality which you may experience. So aim for impulse price brands and a minimum viable commission per unit product. This means that even if you were to put in a large amount of effort to that product, it is worth your time if it goes viral. This is relatively obvious for some creators, but not others. One of my first ever viral videos was a tongue scraper, but because the commission was like 20 cents, I didn't make a significant amount of earnings, even though I made quite a few videos on it. So just go ahead and keep that in mind, and also this applies to yourself as a seller when thinking about your profit margins if you own and sell your own products. As for trend health, so this is a little bit more advanced. Your 30 to 180 day upward trend should be relatively smooth, and it shouldn't see spikes. If you're thinking about entering the market and selling your own product, don't just go for something that's been a one-hit wonder within the last 30 days. Look at other brands which are also generally selling well and still has a low amount of saturation. This applies to making content as well. If you see a big spike, then feel free to test it because you've got nothing to lose, but just bear in mind that it may be a one-hit wonder. So we should also think about, should the benefit be shown in 5 seconds? And even if it can't be shown in 5 seconds, can it be explained in about 5 seconds? I won't delve into too much on this point. You should clearly show how the product solves a pain point within 5 seconds. If it doesn't have the ability to do that, then reconsider another product, to be honest, because there's so many great products out there that you can choose any product which fixes a clear pain point. If you've got a skincare product that's focused on removing blackheads, like the Dr. Malaxin serum, then that is something that can be demonstrated within 5 seconds, and that's why it sells so well. So let's talk a bit about case study teardown. So again, this just kind of doubles down on what I've been saying so far about showing how each product that you promote solves a distinct downstream pain. People don't want to wear a dress because they want to wear a dress. They want to wear a dress because it fixes their dating life. It makes them feel confident in public. So really get into the nitty-gritty of what your target customer is actually feeling during the video. And I think a good way to check if a TikTok is actually viable is do the mum test. So show the video to your mum and see what she thinks about it, because I'm telling you, your mum will pick apart anything in a video that she can. She'll say it's ugly, or it's not explained well, or she wouldn't buy it herself. Do the mum test. That is something that can be very valuable for your products. In terms of research and building a script bank, so we're not going to go into making a content calendar. I think that content calendars are overrated. I've seen other people promote them as like a lead magnet or some kind of digital product. You don't need a calendar for your content, guys. Just show up every day. But saying that, when you've got a script, try and think about 15 different hooks for that same main body of script, and just go all in on it. If you see a video that has performed well for yourself or someone else, keep the hook the same and then slightly change the main body, or don't change the main body and change up the hook in about 15 different ways. And address objections throughout the video. This is something which is super slept on. So people often don't buy a product because they've got an objection at the back of their mind. That is something that you can address by looking at the 1-star reviews on your competitor products. Let's say, there's a viral video about selling a tripod, okay? Tripod. And a very common issue that you see in the comments from other viral videos is they are asking, does it blow down in the wind if you want to film outside? And there are all these viral videos that aren't addressing this objection, which are missing out on sales because they don't actually say, this tripod will not blow down in the wind if you use it. And that's a super amazing talking point which you can address for the customer, which other people haven't even paid attention to. So whether you're an affiliate creator or you're a brand owner, Look at what your competitors are doing. Look at the comments in viral videos and look at what people are asking, because that is basically free content ideas. That was just an idea off the top of my head for that tripod, because that was a question that I had myself when I was thinking about buying this new tripod. It's about like 7 feet tall, and I didn't want it to fall down in the wind and break my phone. I didn't care if the tripod broke or if it was only $30. I was more concerned about breaking my phone. So that's just what I want to touch on research and product selection. If you've got any questions about that, then reach out to me and we can have a chat about that, because I know that people can get super hung up about product selection. I want to move into psychological levers here. Levers, however you want to say it, depending on where you're from. So this is crucial, really, because there is a huge depth and breadth of marketing psychology which goes into TikTok Shop. The core levers are natural desires, so using social approval, care or protection of loved ones, comfort and ease, status, attractiveness, and safety. And the learned desires that people pick up during the video is seeing the product as a bargain or a steal, the quality, just how dependent they will be on that product and how much it will change their life significantly, because people don't want to buy something that they use a couple of times. You should show just how much you will use the product every single day. Doesn't matter if your phone charger is absolutely amazing and it costs $50. If people are only going to use it a couple of times and then get bored of it, or it has if it has a short battery span because it's a portable phone charger, but it doesn't last longer than 2 hours, then people won't buy it. They won't use it every day. Pick 2 to 3 of these themes and layer them in subtly into your videos. So talking about how getting this t-shirt will improve your social approval. When I say social approval, I mean attention among friends, because people buy things so that they have the social approval of other people. Care and protection of loved ones. Will it improve the happiness, joy, safety, whatever, of your parents, your girlfriend, your husband, whatever? Because people still want to be perceived as caring when they get a gift for someone else. Comfort and ease. Is it going to be easy to use? Is it going to give them a warm, fuzzy feeling? That's why we like to buy a neck massager or a comfortable coat, because it's going to be super comfortable and it's going to protect you from cold weather, obviously. So we should also talk about status and attractiveness. So this kind of links into social approval, but the main key point here is when other people see you wear that thing or use that thing, will they ask you like, wow, where did you get that? That's so quirky, that's so unique. Maybe you're using a kitchen gadget and it's a kitchen gadget that no one has ever seen before. It's a conversation starter. Stuff like that, it can be something that people are interested in buying. And the learned desire is something that just becomes apparent during the video. So presenting the item as scarce or a bargain, and just how useful and how strong the quality is, how unique it is. This is something that you can layer in and prove during the video. Let's talk about another psychological lever. Fear-based positioning. So people will put in more effort to not lose something than they will to put in the effort to gain something. This is to do with loss adversity, and it's totally something to do with just how humans are wired. We are more worried about losing $10 from our wallet than the effort it would take to put in to make $10 and get $10 in our wallet. So this is something that, however way you look at it, is something that's super useful. Fear-based positioning, there's a 4-point template to this. So, excuse me, I need to slow down really, don't I? So it should be real, and it should be a widely understood fear. Do not invent fears. Select one that the audience is already aware of and respects. There should be a specific recommended action, a perceived efficacy, and it should be actually doable, so achievable for the user to attain. I'm just going to go into, say, like a pet health risk. So the fear of let's say a $2,000 pet trip is the real, widely understood fear. You're not reinventing the wheel here, okay? The specific recommended action is taking care of your pet's teeth. Let's say your dog's teeth, because you don't want them to get fillings or have their tooth removed or get a tooth infection, whatever. The perceived efficacy should be a dog chewing toy or chewing stick or snack that cleans the dog's teeth for you, because it's got something in it that cleans the teeth, like Dentasticks and stuff like that. The proof is maybe, say, a study behind it, or showing customer testimonials of a happy dog, things like that. You can show screenshots from the TikTok shop reviews, things like that. The doability is just showing how easy it is to feed a dog a chew. You'd be surprised how many people miss this out, okay? People don't show the dog actually taking the dog chew or something. So the ease is simply handing your dog a chew, as opposed to something that's really difficult, like manually cleaning your dog's teeth, like some old-fashioned tools do, okay? We now have modern dog chews that actually clean our dog's teeth for us. So this is just an example of fear-based positioning, where we go from pain to pleasure. The pain is a $2,000 vet trip. The pleasure is, oh wow, my dog is happily chewing away on a pet chew. The best part is it's actually cleaning his teeth for me. Let's talk about authority stacking without bragging. So we should have visual authority. Try and think about what you're wearing. I know that my lighting isn't the best in this video, but it does the job for me, okay? It's a clean background. I'm wearing my cap. It's all I need to wear to educate my audience. As for yourself, maybe showing up in clothes which are unfitted, dirty. The lighting is absolutely terrible, and I mean like really bad. It's fine to wear clothes which, like pajamas or whatever, they can do really well in TikTok shop videos. It just looks like you're just rolled out of bed and you're just talking about a product while you're getting your coffee. That's completely fine. But the lighting shouldn't be absolutely terrible and so ugly that people want to scroll straight away. So when you've posted the video, just go back and watch it a couple times yourself and consider, if this was on my For You page, would I actually watch this myself? Is this person well presented? I know that this is a difficult point to make, but it's just the nature of social media, isn't it, really? Because people have to be trusted and properly presented, and when you promote a product, you are selling a lifestyle, essentially. So if you don't look like you have your stuff together, that can subconsciously come off on the viewer. So we can also borrow authority, so like just using the dog chew story. So you could say, my vet dentist or my vet aunt who is a vet, she told me that this particular ingredient is something that dogs are missing out in their diet, which if they don't get enough of, can lead to dental problems. Okay, so you can use a proof flash using like screenshots and snippets from study headlines. This kind of leads into this last point I made, but the super hook receipt is one sentence as a credential after the hook. So keep it short and then bring it back to value. So tell your hook and then say something specific about how you came to the conclusion of that hook. This works specifically well for supplements, but it can work well for any products. So you can say, like, for a dress, for example, I don't market dresses, but let's see if I can come up with a super hook receipt off the top of my head. So I could say something like, to the Latina woman who told me to wear this dress every Saturday night before date night, I just wanted to say thank you, because I've just seen this exact same dress come up on my feed and it's twice the amount of what I bought it for. That's a kind of super hook receipt which borrows authority, because you're talking about the story of just another woman or someone else who put you onto the dress, and you're also doubling down on why you're sharing the story of that dress, because you're like, oh my god, I've just seen this exact same dress come up on my feed, and it's like, it costs twice as much on other stores. That's the reason you're sharing it, because people don't just want to open their app and see that you're trying to sell something. Give a reason why you are sharing this product, something that comes to mind that is significant to you, which you just have to tell the audience about, because when people see a reason why you are talking about a product, which is different to you just making money, they will see the value in that. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're
talking about a product that's just like an ergonomic mouse. You can talk about your experience with how a traditional gaming mouse is, mouse is just completely messed up your wrist. Okay, that's something that you can share as a story. Unity language, vulnerability, and direct address pronouns. Lead with you and close with us. So this is about addressing the viewer as you at the start of the video. So do you struggle with this? Do you struggle with this? Do you struggle with this? Just double down on saying you, and then close with we or us. I like to close my videos with, this is the stuff that we take in our family, this particular supplement, or this is the stuff that me and my friends do. And when you use pronouns like we and us towards the end of the video, it feels like you're inviting the person to your tribe, to your community, by buying the products. Just kind of like a lot of these trending videos who are going viral around Group 7 at the moment. So Group 7 is opening with Group 7 videos. They're opening with like targeting creators, so you, and then it invites you to join us. So we're going from calling out a person to inviting them to the tribe. Don't be afraid to show your flaws during the video. On all of my videos, which went most viral, even though I don't show it anymore, I had a terrible widow's peak. So my hair, I'm losing my hair gradually, okay? And on a lot of my videos, I've got no problem showing my widow's peak. And that kind of authority, and well, not authority, but vulnerability, triggered a lot of comments. And it kind of showed my flaws. I'm not afraid of showing myself. Just go ahead and disclose small human mistakes that can be perceived as honest and real and raw. If anything happens during the video, or you say something, or you've got a vulnerable story to share, share it, because that vulnerability will come across way more trustworthy to the audience. We can also talk about pain language, so use language that only insiders who actually experience that problem would understand. There's a crazy video going viral at the moment about a gentleman whose mum, she suffers with cystic fibrosis, and he used a lot of specific terms which only people who suffer with cystic fibrosis would know about. There was another one about magnesium deficiency and waking up with a restless leg. I don't know anything about magnesium deficiencies, but that is someone who only someone with a magnesium deficiency would understand. They're waking up in the middle of the night and they can't feel their left leg or something because it's gone so tingly. That is the kind of pain language which you should look to find out and double down on, so it feels like you're talking to that person. Just want to wrap up on this last point for this section on psychological levers. So there is a curiosity architecture here. So feel free to use questions during your videos. Questions are amazing. I haven't asked you enough questions so far during this video, in fairness, so I've been a bit of a hypocrite during this video. But the key point here is, do not be afraid to use questions. Do you struggle with this? Have you ever noticed this? I don't know about you, but I struggle with this. Question chaining and using multiple questions through the video is completely fine. Using questions every 30 seconds, one question every 30 seconds is fine. I'm going to update this, so every 30 seconds. Not every 10 seconds, that's probably too frequent. So feel free to use questions not just at the start of your video for a hook, but during the video as well. Let's talk about content systems and creative execution as our penultimate point. I'm just going to double check that, yeah, this is still rolling, that's sweet. I've been yapping for 40 minutes, I just want to check that the video was still rolling. So, content systems and creative execution. This is something that I heard a creator talk about on a TikTok actually. So it's the 70-20-10 split. 70% of your videos should be remade winners, nearly verbatim, with a minor visual or camera tweak. 20% should be the same angle or pane with a different hook format. So let's say a story was told as a talking head. You can use that same angle and pane and script, but change it so it's like a point of view video, or it's a skit, or it's just presented differently to the audience. And 10% of your content should be a wild test, entirely something that is completely you, up to you, and something that you just want to test, something that you just want to throw out there. Because what you'll often find is there are pioneers in TikTok Shop. There are people who launch their own products who are the first to get there with a certain story or a certain hook. Okay, there was definitely that one person who just thought of one day in the health niche to say, if your pooch looks like this, all like this, you're not fat, you just have high cortisol. Something like that. Once upon a time, one person said that first, and that sent a chain reaction for all the other creators to copy them. But if you were the first person to make your own hook, then that could be the next spark. And to be honest, when you're the first to do something significant like that, the commissions just roll in, and so do the sales as well if you're a brand owner, which I'm going to talk about shortly actually, because I want to give this some context on how to apply this system to yourself as a brand owner. So that's the split that I like to use for content, and sprinkle in your own stories and your own self during your videos. Formats. I like to use a question hook. I like to use visible proof, something that shows a pain point visually, or something that shows a benefit visually, something that shows some kind of reaction. So if you're talking about shampoo that helps your hair, then maybe you can actually hold up some of your hair and look at it like you're completely shocked, like, oh my God. So show a reaction, show something that's visibly emotional at the start of the video. As for formats, we can talk about, skits. If you don't know what a skit is, it's basically with yourself or multiple people involved in the video where you're just talking to each other like, whoa, how did you do that? A lot of videos that you see on TikTok are filmed in Walmart because it looks like someone is like cold approaching a customer in Walmart to ask their opinion on a product. Anything like that. If you've got a girlfriend or a mom or a dad who wants to get involved, use them, because the more people who are involved, the less salesy it actually feels, because it doesn't feel like one person has deliberately set up a camera and just started talking. So the other ones that I really like for myself are conspiracies, just talking head content, just walking around my house, and demos. If you're a lady, you can also do get ready with me's, and short form content with text on screen works really well as well, but this is more for a bottom of funnel content strategy. So if you've got a product that has done like 50k sales or even just like 10k sales, feel free to just do like short 10 to 20-second videos with a trending sound and text on screen just showing the benefit of the product. You can pump out like 10, 20 of those a day, and some of them can do well sometimes. I go into way more depth on marketing and formats in my mentorship program. So, but yeah, this is just a little snippet here. So as for tonality, pacing, and non-verbals, we can talk a bit about camera delivery training. This is more for people who haven't established who they are as a creator yet and who haven't put in much practice, but it's still something to bear in mind if you're an established creator, because it's something that a lot of people can still mess up. So drop to just above monotone to disarm your viewer. So if you're talking like this and your voice and tone is all over the place, and oh my God, do you have to see this? It sounds really inauthentic. It doesn't sound like you're talking to someone on FaceTime. So that's how your baseline tone should be. It should be enthusiastic enough to sound like you're talking to someone on FaceTime, but not completely monotone. I understand that I'm quite a monotone speaker. I'm different on my TikTok, okay? But I am never salesy. I'm not like, oh my, I feel like you have to do this. You know, it just sounds salesy. So try and train yourself out of that. Don't think about the product or the commission. Just think about what the viewer is actually listening to. You can also use non-verbal communication. So lead with your hands and eyebrows if your voice fails you. Hands support emphasis. There's no need to overconduct, but just go ahead and use your hands. It can also keep the viewer engaged, even if it's just something like pointing towards the camera or above your head or something to show screenshots. There's lots of things that you can do different here. Some drills that you can do on camera is reading a paragraph in 3 different ways. One, like an infomercial. The second way to read it deadpan. And the third way is to read it naturally, so that you can see the different ways that you read one script. And then play it back to yourself, okay? And then when you actually hear it and see it on screen, is each video actually different to the next? If there is no difference, then you have a problem, because that means you are either too salesy in all of your videos or you are too boring in all of your videos. It's not likely that you have it just right in all 3 of your videos. So go ahead and practice these 3 ways: infomercial, deadpan, and natural. If there is a significant difference, then go all in on natural. As soon as you dial in on natural speaking, the easier it is to make content, because I find that making infomercial and salesy content is really draining. It really drains your energy. The less you try to sell, the more you will sell often. Let's talk about the ADHD era retention, as I've talked about here. This is just a little hook I've used because this is the seconds script pattern. It's something that people are doing on camera, even if it's not related to the product. I've seen supplement videos where people are chopping up bananas on screen. I've seen just like fashion videos where people are organizing their makeup drawer, whatever, yeah? Even if they're talking about the actual dress that they're wearing. Show something on screen while you are talking. Pouring a drink, preparing a meal, anything, a hobby, could be anything. Putting a shirt on, anything. Literally anything. It doesn't have to be relevant to the product at all. Anything. It has to be something visually engaging, like you're doing something, because people like to watch people do things, and it can also feel like it's somehow going to relate to the video, but it's not going to. So people talk about anti-bloating supplements while they're chopping a banana, as though the video is going to somehow be about how banana can help you with bloating, right? But it just leads the viewer on to watch longer and longer and longer. Some of my most viral videos were just me cracking eggs in a pan. See these videos here? They've done like 600k, 300k, 200k, 160k, 180k. I just doubled down on cracking eggs in a pan, 130k. So funny. And people were just obsessed with like how many eggs is this guy going to crack into a pan? Another one here, 700k. That's what I like to do. That's me, okay? So the second script formula is something that you're visually going to do on screen, even if it's not relevant. Could be anything, literally anything. I've got a second script formula that I'm showing to you right now. It's me talking while I'm showing this Miro board to you. Let's talk about engagement optimization. This is something that is, to be honest, this is a bit of a myth. So do not sweat this. This is just something that I wanted to include. So you can leave comments on your own videos to bait people to reply to them. People say, oh, I'm not getting enough comments or something, or I want to start a conversation in the comments. Just leave a little comment on your video inviting people to discussion. You can say something controversial, anything. Just something to test that I wanted to share with you. You can multiply comment count by asking like specifics, or asking more questions to people who are leaving comments on your videos, so it encourages them to come back to the video and watch the video longer, and this continues to push the video. So if you're talking about like a dog product and someone says in your comments, what breed of dog is that, then don't just say Labrador, say, oh, it's a Labrador, I got him 2 years ago, do you have a dog, what breed is he? Something like that, something to invite them to more conversation. I know that leaving the comment in and of itself doesn't boost the video, but what does boost the video is more people coming back to watch the video to reply to your comments, because that's just going to increase the watch time on your video. TikTok is a social platform, so be social on it. If you're getting comments, then use them, reply to them, ask more questions, treat it like a mini community in your videos. It could potentially work. So let's talk about funnel strategy and conversion mechanics. I will be wrapping up this video in 15 minutes, but I promise I'm going to share even more value with you by the end of this video. So I like to map content to product maturity, and you should bear in mind, whether you're a seller or a TikTok shop affiliate, what kind of awareness stage is your product best suited to. If you're just starting out, I would focus on top of funnel content. If it's something with low commissions or low sales volumes, if you're selling your own product, just test some top of funnel stuff. Doesn't have to be a hard sell. Just get that watch time up nice and high. If you're talking about, let's say, a notebook, you don't have to sell the notebook. You can say 3 ways that I like to take care of my mental health. Number 1, and then you can give like a sleep ritual. And then number 2, cutting out toxic people. And then number 3, organizing my thoughts. And then I write the thoughts down in a notebook. This is the one that I like to use. It's not really salesy. It's just very top of funnel. It's going to get your watch time up nice and high. It's probably not going to make very many sales because people may scroll after the first like 30 seconds before they get to your product. This is something that I experienced with one of my products, which did 5 million views. It might not be listed on this one. No, it's not here, but that's okay. So one of my videos did 5 million views, and it didn't do many sales because I was so focused on the story. So it increased brand awareness loads. okay, but the sales weren't there. But that's okay because TikTok was able to retarget those viewers and those people who commented with my bottom of funnel videos later on. So I think I made up the sales there. So yeah, just go for top of funnel content if you're just starting out. Warm the audience up to your content. And if you have a product which has a clear visual wow factor, then feel free to just go ahead and test bottom of funnel content straight away, even if there aren't many sales on the product page already. If you're selling like I say, a portable phone charger, just something that has a clear, instant, immediate benefit that the viewer can see, then just go to the shops and just be like, oh my god, my phone is about to die, but this phone charger, it has my back, so I'm able to pay for all these groceries that I've got in my cart, so I can avoid the embarrassment of going to the cashier and saying that my phone is dead, I can't pay for this. Something that's really bottom of funnel and salesy like that, for something that has a clear, immediate wow factor, can still work very well. So just bear in mind, depending on how much awareness there is or how much viral content is made of that product that you're promoting, think about whether you want to use top of funnel, middle of funnel, or bottom of funnel content. Top of funnel is story led. There's plenty of emotions. It's just talking about general themes in the niche. If you're in the productivity niche, you can talk about work in general, improving your focus, and then you don't even have to pitch the fact that you are promoting a productivity tool at the end of the video. That's completely fine. Top of funnel is 90% emotion, 10% logic, and it means that you can run fewer but higher, and this is a case of running fewer and higher effort videos. Top of funnel can certainly still make sales though. Middle of funnel, skits, shorter stories, education, reveal the product earlier in the video, blend emotion and logic. Bottom of funnel, it's just going to be a case of deal mentions, simple demos, fast CTAs, and exploiting coupons and vouchers which the audience can take advantage of. So, CTA architecture, using urgency and price psychology. Man, am I still... Yeah, we're still good to go. We're still good to go, guys. CTA architecture. Scarcity queues. You could say, like, I had to wait 4 weeks before I got this product on another platform, but TikTok Shop has it available where you can get it for free shipping within 3 days. You can use a CTA, like if the orange cart isn't visible, then that means the brand still has stock. You can use price anchoring, so frame it against a higher mental anchor. So even if your product is cheap on every store, let's say you're marketing a fragrance. Okay? Even if there are loads of other cheap fragrance brands out there, you can say, well, there are still some fragrance brands that sell their fragrance for like $600 or whatever, and this one is only $30. Even though there are still other cheap fragrance alternatives out there. You can also mention the high cost of an alternative. So just something that comes to mind, I promote an anti-aging supplement called NMN, and the actual cost of NAD therapy, which is the premium choice that you can get from an actual like clinic, is like thousands of dollars. So I say, like, don't get NAD therapy, just take NMN. If you're talking about like something that can help your car, like a tire pressure gauge, you can say, don't wait until you have to pay $1,000 to get your tire changed or have your car checked up or whatever. Just get this instead, a tire pressure gauge, which tells you exactly how much pressure is in your tire, and it will even inflate your tires for you because it has a built-in air vacuum or something. Just things like that. Things that you should talk about the cost of not taking action significantly, basically. If you're selling like a productivity supplement, talk about the thousands of dollars that you're going to lose by having brain fog at work and not getting that promotion. Or if you're selling a piece of fashion or something that's really like something that the viewer would actually wear, think about the cost to your dating life. You're going to lose time, money, effort, and emotional stress by not getting this item sooner because your dating life will suffer because you don't have this item. It could be anything. Obviously, that's just a funny example, but it could be anything. So, objection handling and doability proof. Just focus on ease of use, time, safety, compatibility. how easy it fits into your day-to-day life. Show the exact step that removes the block. So, like I say, we've talked about this before. Just focus on how easy it is to implement and how fast you can get results. Case studies, pattern recognition. So beauty authority, as a beauty authority stack, you can use like a question hook. Before and after credibility. Some people like to say they're a nurse, which is really cheeky, but TikTok allows it. Ingredient name drops. So even if there isn't a particular skincare brand that any celebrity has talked about, maybe there's an ingredient in that skincare brand which a celebrity has talked about. So even if, say, I don't know, Kylie Jenner hasn't specifically talked about Dr. Malaxin, maybe there's a specific ingredient in there like hypochlorous acid or whatever it is that Kylie Jenner or the Kardashians have talked about. So look at the ingredients on your products and try and find some authority or of someone who has talked about that product. There isn't a single celebrity that's talked about this specific apple cider vinegar product, but there are loads of celebrities and influencers who have talked about apple cider vinegar. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Break down the product, break down something it does. Let's say you're promoting, like I say, that tire pressure gauge. Even if no celebrity has specifically promoted a tire pressure gauge, like Lewis Hamilton, he hasn't promoted a specific tire pressure gauge, has he? But maybe you can find a clip of a celebrity or someone of authority talking about the terrible things that can happen when you have low tire pressure. Maybe there's a clip out there of Lewis Hamilton saying that he has to spend like thousands of dollars a month to fix his tire pressure because he's always burning through wheels. Don't let that be you. Use this tire pressure gauge to spot tire pressure straight away and get it checked out. Just stuff like that. So don't worry if a celebrity hasn't promoted your brand yet. Find a celebrity or authority or customer who has promoted your product before in some way. Analytics and iteration. Just go ahead and check out average watch time, comments, conversions per 1,000 views. So you're going to be paying attention to this specifically because a really, really good conversion rate is 1 sale per 1,000 views. If you've got a video, even if it hasn't gone very viral, if it's only got 10,000 views and then TikTok stopped pushing it, but it's got 10 sales, then use that same video and rework it, make it more engaging or something. Do anything with that one video because people look at their most viral videos, but they don't look at the videos that converted best. So pay attention to your high converting videos as well as paying attention to the videos with really high watch time that went viral. Look at the comments and look at what people are asking. And that essentially wraps it up for the 5 strategies. This is a content flywheel for a 6-figure TikTok shop. So I just wanted to wrap up by saying that most of these problems that you have will go away when you have leverage and an asset that you are building for yourself. What do I mean by that? As a brand owner like myself, if my mindset isn't 100% on point today, that's okay because there will still be another creator who has a top mindset that I am coaching. If I'm a brand owner, it doesn't matter if I'm not feeling very creative today. If I have a top creator or my old videos are still generating sales for me, then I can thank myself for old videos I've made because my research and product selection was on point. Psychological levers. It doesn't matter if I'm a brand owner who doesn't feel like posting today or didn't have the time to post today or there's some problem, okay? Psychological levers still allow me to turn that story into content because I still have my own things that I want to do in life, but as a creator, you don't have any leverage. But you do as a brand owner. Content systems and creative execution. I can brief other creators on what formats to use, tonality and pacing, all the second script ideas. I can show other creators what to do to promote my product for me. Funnel strategy. I can look at all the data that is working well for my products. I can look at when I want to use top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel videos for my product because I have all the data on my TikTok shop seller dashboard, okay? There are things that I can see as a brand owner that you as a creator cannot see. I know exactly what to do with anticipating the next sale, the next flash sale, price anchoring, all these things that I can control as someone who owns his own brand and controls the product price, where I source my product, how much ad spend I put behind my videos. There are things here that I can leverage which a creator does not leverage and never will be able to leverage. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video by just switching to my to where I was before on my sofa, and I'm going to have a cool offer for you guys. I do hope that this was of value so far.
And that is the blueprint on how to be a six-figure creator. There's something very special that I want to share with you. This is a piece of the puzzle when it comes to launching and scaling your own TikTok shop. Making content for other people is great, but why not market your own brand and take the profits for yourself? If you're interested in taking your income to the next level, whether you are an established brand owner who wants to launch your own TikTok shop, or you are a TikTok affiliate who wants to launch your own brand, then go ahead and sign up to my free webinar, which is linked in the comments. I wish you all the best of success with your TikTok shop journey, and I will catch you in the next one.